We played some Grixis Shadow for the first time in like 2 months last week, and we played 2 leagues. It went pretty well. I think we were 7-3, if I'm remembering correctly. And I've got a Atlanta qualifier this weekend. The main decks I'm considering are, of course, Rakdos, Food, and then this deck, maybe Lotus Field too. I haven't played Lotus Field in a while, but I feel like it's also probably somewhat reasonable. So I just wanted to dust this list off for a little bit, and I feel like I just don't have like a super good read of where this list sits in the metagame. No, maybe we were. No, I think we were 8-2 with this list, and we lost twice to 4-color Omnath. We beat 4-color Omnath once, and that's just like the matchup I have the hardest time evaluating, like exactly where this list sits. Thank you, Perspiring Mike, for the gifted sub. So sorry, not Rakdos Food, Rakdos, Esper Food, and then this deck. So like I know that I read Kanister's article recently, and he was talking about how he's really been liking Grixis Shadow, and he actually says he's not like he's not upset to get paired against Omnath, and thinks the matchup is generally pretty close. But that hasn't been my experience at all playing Grixis Shadow. For the most part, like the main thing I'm concerned to see is a Yorion on the side of the field. So I don't know if I've had like bad variance in the matchup, because I don't actually have that many like reps of the matchup with Ledger Shredder Shadow, and I also don't know if I have like some strategy problems, like if I am not approaching the matchup from the right direction. I'm just not sure what's going on, or maybe Kanister's just cracked and all matchups are even matchups for him. Playing Chalice of the Void and not playing underpowered 1-mana multicolor cards like Figure of Destiny. Oh, dude. Another 1-lander. Opponent's on a mold to 6. I think I'm going to go to 5. We'll keep with that Watery Grave as a red source. Gonna keep this hand too. I'm going to put back, I think, the black spells. So, in general, I think you're going to be main decking 4 Chalice of the Void and not playing underpowered 1-mana multicolor cards like Figure of Destiny. I think you get to play Prismatic Ending as your 1-mana removal spell of choice that doesn't get affected by Chalice of the Void. This is the formula that I have found success with brewing with General Rockerick, and I think this is a better formula than what you have here. I also think that I don't like playing this Boros version over the 4-color versions I've worked on in the past that require you to play way too many removal spells. You're playing 4, 6, 10, 14 creature removal spells, which is just way too many, especially when like the quality of your creature removal spells is pretty stretched thin, playing like Justice Strike, Rip Apart, just like kind of weak cards here. Okay, keep that on top. Then I maybe just hold the Bauble for the Surveil next turn. I'm on a mold to 5. They're on a mold to 6. They also have Jegantha. I think the main deck silences like don't make a lot of sense to me. I know that you need some kind of interaction for these creature decks. I feel like you need to be playing, if you're gonna play a Boros General Rockerick deck, you need to play like 4 Chalice, 4 Blood Moon, 4 Nahiri the Harbinger, and you get to keep your Lightning Helix as Manamorphoses. You probably need to find one other good multicolor grindy card. I would also play like 22 lands here. I think 20 is too low. You could maybe play Ragavan and Chalice, but I probably wouldn't recommend it. I love Sundering Growth. It's probably not very good though, but I give you the permission to play it. It's very cool with Rockerick. Let's start playing the Mirror. I'm on a mold to 6 on the play. My opponent's I'm on a mold to 5 on the play. My opponent's on a mold to 6. Okay, I'm gonna try to hold the iteration until next turn. This is iteration is definitely like, you know, the card I need to bail out a little bit. What do you think about 2 or 3 copies of Street with Asma Food deck? I really hate it. Yeah, really hate it. I'm gonna keep the heat. Yeah, you can play Showdown of the Scalds. I like that suggestion, Otter. There's something I want to respond to. Yeah, Street Wraith. I in my opinion, the Cookbook, Saga for Cookbook, Cycle on Earth, and Trigger Ledger Shredder is enough discard enablers to play Asmo, and you know, a lot of people always, of course, suggest cards like this, like Street Wraith. I don't know. The main deck of the Esper Food list feels very tight, very consistent. I don't. I have you know. I don't think I could recommend cutting any of the cards at the moment. I think I'm playing Iteration here. It's kind of close. I kind of dislike putting away the Kroxa, but I do like keeping the other Iteration. I think it's better than the Kroxa in hand here, although maybe close. Any interest in splashing for Riveteer's Charm? I love Riveteer's Charm. I think that splashing for it is interesting. I don't think the splash is like that hard to facilitate, but I do think that it is not free. And I also don't like making your mana like pretty significantly worse. Obviously, like you have functional mana, but your mana is like significantly worse with the splash. And I don't think that you compensate for the worse mana with the added power level in my opinion. Oh, rough. Okay, guess I'm gonna exile the Ragavan. Could have tapped differently, but I was thinking I might hit land and want to cast Thoughtseize off my lands here. Okay, we'll take that. We'll take that. Kroxa seems better, almost unbeatable in Mirror. Maybe. I don't have the 4th land for it either, though. But I did find a Kroxa, huh? Maybe you're right. I did have 3 lands. When can we see Hollow Vintage again? I'm not sure. I've been I was really liking that deck. I feel like I kind of moved away from it too soon. All right, we're cutting the basic mountain, chat. I've been pretty close to cutting the basic mountain lately. Obviously, I could have fetched differently too, but this happens maybe a bit too often, huh? I don't know. I also do fetch the mountain a decent amount of the time. Okay. I think I'm just gonna main phase, kill the channeler. No Kroxa escape. Well, I'm commenting on the basic mountain because the basic mountain means I don't have double black. I don't know. There's probably enough burn in the metagame to justify the basic mountain, right? Is that copium? Oh, they're playing push. That's good for them. That's good for them in the mirror. Yeah, I have Jegantha as a black source. Great point. So their hand is Jegantha mystery card. My hand is also about to be Jegantha mystery card. I recut basic mountain long time Lord of Shadow. I cut it ever since. Yeah, if Javier does it, it probably can't be wrong. I think I'm on board. I don't know. It's so close. It's just like I feel like this card has like won me so many games against burn though, and this does happen sometimes. Doesn't happen that often. I don't know, man. Maybe it's a wash, huh? Okay, so if I draw a land, I can go Kroxa Escape and Heat, so I'll hold the Heat so I can trigger Shredder or DRC. There's no real reason to cast it right now. This is just like that Menguchi video. Do you just run another Shock instead? Maybe. I'll have to think about it. Probably another Shock, yeah. Like 3rd Blood Crypt. So if my opponent's last card is a land, I can kill them with the Kroxa Escape. Oh no, they would just play land and escape Kroxa? Or more 4 fetches. I have 10 fetches, 8 fetchable targets. I don't know that I want an 11th fetch. Could though. It's one of those two. It's either a shock land or a fetch land. I don't think it's really. It's never Fiery Islet. Bolt me, opponent. Do it. Do it. So if I draw a land, I lose. Unless their last card is a land. But it's not a land, I think, because they started to pay costs. I feel like playing 19th land in Shadow with Shredder, unless scared of flooding. Find myself with one land very often. What do I think? I've played a ton of Shadow. When I was first working on the deck, you know, it's maybe easy to forget about, but I've been playing Shadow longer than anybody, or the dress down Shadow specifically. When I was working on the deck initially, I was on 19 lands. I've always felt like 19 is too many. 18 has felt perfect to me, like the whole time. Like since I've switched to 18, I was playing 19 for a long time. I've made the switch to 18. I've been really happy with 18 ever since. Yeah, we were dead. My opponent just escapes Kroxa and kills me. Yeah, so I've been cutting all of my removal in this matchup, or my 1-mana discard spells. And then I usually like sit here for a little bit and think about what the last card is cut, and I agonize it over it a bit too much, I think. It's either like I don't play third spell Pierce, or on the play usually I don't play the 6 1-mana removal spell. On the draw maybe I cut the 4th Shadow, or the spell Pierce. I think I'll cut the 4th Shadow on the draw, where it's just kind of really bad to have too early. Cut DRC. Okay, yeah, this is another thing too. People cut DRC in these kind of matchups. I love DRC in these matchups. Oh, sorry, I'm on the play. I don't know why I thought. Sorry, I guess I maybe still cutting the 3rd Shadow. No, I should have cut the heat, 3rd heat. But yeah, people love to cut DRC. I don't get it. I don't get it. Is it because like there's more graveyard hate post board, or why do people cut DRC? I just don't understand. Is there ever any clash between Drown and Hearse? Yeah, in this matchup it usually doesn't matter because all the spells are like 1 and 2 mana. But there's like a little tension. I kind of feel like sideboarding with these decks are really hard, right? And I kind of think people just like started cutting DRC because sideboarding is really hard, but I don't feel like it's correct. Heat on top. What's on Hammer this meta? I've been liking Hammer lately. It's been looking okay. DRC chump attacks in the Shredder. That's why people cut it. I guess, but Shredder's also like so easy to kill. But I think that's a real argument. That's a real argument for sure. I think I'm playing DRC. Hold up spell Pierce. Oh, my opponent also rolled a 5, so I'm happy enough to take like any 1-for-1. Yeah, I trim DRC against Hammer. I usually trim 1. But it's maybe better to trim 2 and then play 4 Ragavan, because like Ragavan's just like definitely the card you always want if they have turn 1 Sentinel. Which is their best draws against you. Get Graveyard to Ragavan. Get Delirium. I think I'm casting the Iteration. Just Graveyard to get a non-land card here. Okay. Unfair. Only I can cast Iteration, huh? Thoughts on Espersense of the Marty Shadow deck or Imperial Recruiter taking out Street Wraiths? Recruiter doesn't make a lot of sense when it's worse than Ranger Captain and Seasoned Pyromancer in my evaluation. You would have to evaluate it higher as those 2 cards, which doesn't make a lot of sense. It doesn't tutor Shadow, I think. It doesn't tutor Shadow, does it? And like I don't think I'm interested in like the 9th 3-mana creature. And you basically never see me play Esper Sentinel in decks that are using discard as their interaction. I like it in some decks that play counterspells as their interaction, but in my opinion, Esper Sentinel plays poorly with discard spells where you're both spending mana to not impact the board and the game becomes slower, and so in that regard you are giving your opponent more time to set up and spend the mana that they would otherwise not be using, and then or sorry, they spend the mana they then pay for Sentinel, and you also give your opponent less options for their turn with the discard spells. So they have an easier time paying for Esper Sentinel. So I think that Esper Sentinel is a non-build with discard spells. That being said, like this is an evaluation I've had for a long time. Okay, on the draw, this is my sideboard plan. On the play, I should have cut the heat for the 4th Shadow. But yeah, but I haven't actually ever played, I think, an Esper Sentinel discard deck. Maybe I have, but this is why you never really see me play those two cards together. And maybe that evaluation is a bit flawed, right? Because to some extent, you know, Esper Sentinel is a good card, discard spells are good interaction in black-based decks. Maybe you just shouldn't overthink it. But that's why, again, that's why I'm not playing. Oh, Seeing Redemption. Okay, thank you. Expressive Iteration! Yeah, not my best seeing. I do like having double iteration against an opponent who's mulliganed in the mirror. Pure Recruiter grabs Pirate, Fulminator, Giver as well. Yeah, I think it's just too slow though. I've been, I don't know. This is another spot where maybe I'm lost in the sauce, but I have at least been liking the idea of Imperial Recruiter in the Jund deck, that I've been working on with Aether Vial, Imperial Recruiter, and like obviously the sack outlets. But also, like, you know, my results with that version have not been as good as like my other sacrifice versions, and I'm starting to think that's just because Imperial Recruiter sucks. That's starting to be my evaluation, is that like Recruiter just kind of sucks, unfortunately. I could be wrong, but that's kind of where I'm at. So I guess I was kind of worried about Spell Pierce. I guess I kind of opened myself up to Drown on the Terminate, but I'm going to Terminate this now. I'll take the Watery Grave here. Maybe Blood Crypt's better, but I have double blue cards in my hand. I guess it's hard to the blue. How do you feel like Bring to Light's position? I think Bring to Light's fine. Probably like generally underplayed. Yeah, Recruiter plus Grist always felt pretty good. I don't know. That deck's just missing something. I think Esper Sentinel Shredder is a good combo. Yeah, like since Sentinel's a bad top deck, like it's kind of nice to play those two cards together. Not sure exactly what you're suggesting, but like I don't think I would say that those two cards play okay together. Okay, let's iteration here. Hands, bottom, exile. We've seen the Vannifar pod deck in Pioneer. I haven't, no, I haven't. Untapping with Vannifar is probably not that hard, because nobody can revolt to Fatal Push, and nobody can deal 4 damage to a creature. Being counterbalanced in DRC work well enough to think about? Not really, right? Because like any way that you're triggering DRC at instant speed is going to be a card that draws a card usually. Like if you're trying to play like DRC with like Consider Opt, you put your counterbalance trigger on the stack, you cast Consider, you cast Opt, you Surveil, but then you draw a card, and then like you reset your Surveil. So like I don't know like what you're triggering with DRC at instant speed to like set up your counterbalance. Maybe you can try to set it up at sorcery speed. That is always like reasonable, but I don't think there's really the support you want there for it. Sign of Draco, what position, first current removal, the modern meta? There's less Unholy Heats, there's more pushes, there's more bolts. I'd say yes. I'd say yes. It's got 1 card in their hand. Ooh, it's an interesting draw. So you don't like Sentinel plus discard, you think Esper Sentinel plus Shredder is a good combo. I already answered, I don't think it's a combo, but like both those, I don't think there's any tension between those cards. There's like the slight synergy of looting Sentinel away in the late game. So I'm not sure exactly what you're getting at, but yeah, I don't think there's like significant tension there, if that's what you're asking. No, they have a Spell Bomb? Dang. So they have to crack the spell bomb now, which means they can't DRC this turn at least. Is Shadow really worse than Ledger Shredder here? Yeah, because we have Kroxa in the hand. Shredder gets the value of being able to like loot the Kroxa and let me escape it next turn potentially. Hold this for Connive, but I need to. If I can remove Delirium right now, that's good to stop Heat from killing my Shredder. Although they've already used 2 Heats, there's not much reason to not do it. I think. And I should be able to. Yeah, just immediately. No Delirium. And then my opponent's hand is DRC Mystery card. I'm not going to play around Ragavan here, I think. Revoker as a tutor target for Traverse or Recruiter decks without Saga Needle. It's fine. It's fine. It's good against Yawgmoth and like Tron and like not much else. I've considered pitching Rag there for the counter. I need something to crew my hearses. I don't think that's good. Basic mounts and also like enabling me to not play the Mire out this turn. I think it's very uncommon to board and dress down in this matchup. If they have dress down, they get to kill both my hearses and kill me with Shadow. It'll at least be a good story for them to tell their kids, huh? There are more instants than lands, so I'll go after the lands next. Okay, I'm thrilled to trade a hearse for a Shadow here. They also Jegantha in the hand. I think I'm supposed to attack. Then play Jegantha. Oh my gosh, I attacked with the wrong creature. Oh my gosh. Dude, my like brain rot has been so bad lately. I'm falling apart, I'm losing it. But you know what I won't do? I won't take a day off. I'll just completely mentally deteriorate on stream day after day. And it'll be fun to watch probably. We got the damage through, baby! We got the damage through! They respect the Aspiring Spike Lightning Bolt bluff. They respect the bluff. Well, that was well calculated, huh? Ooh. I can't stop the Kroxa if they have a land. Yeah. Yeah, if they have a land, it has to be a shock land or basic though. Okay, they don't have it. I am going to take this first moment that I have priority, I think. I guess they're going to combat. Yeah, I can just let them go to combat, actually. AC with the 17 months. Appreciate ya. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think the basic mountain is good enough, like, a lot of the time to, like, make it a conversation. I don't know. Okay. It's kind of an interesting attack. On the other hand, is Jegantha mystery cards. It's not like they can have double bolts. This has 6 power hearse. My opponent's at 7. Big draw step for us. Spell Pierce is probably not going to be that relevant. I think I'm probably supposed to attack with the hearse this turn instead of bluffing the damage with the Ledger Shredder masterfully. Attack with the Jegantha and the hearse. Nice to be able to drown a Kolaghan's Command or Spell Pierce a Kolaghan's Command or drown, but any 1-mana removal is going to get me. When did they play Jegantha? I'm assuming they're holding up something, but it's starting to look like that's not the case. Nobody plays Jegantha. It's just an 8-mana 5/5. Why would you cast that? Attack with everything is lethal. It's not lethal into a possible 1-mana removal spell. Okay, spell piercing this beats dash Ragavan, discard Jegantha. What do you prefer, spell pierce, fluster, or split? So spell pierce I like against the blue-white control matchup, which is like not that popular, but I think it's Grixis' worst matchup, even worse than 4-color Omnath. And spell pierce is like so much better than Flusterstorm in that matchup, where you can counter Rest in Peace, Teferi, and Chalice if they're playing it. And spell pierce is definitely significantly worse against Cascade decks, but I've historically thought that the equity you gain in the blue-white matchup is worth the diminished equity you get against Cascade. Because it's not like Spell Pierce is like much worse against Cascade. I might keep this hand. I might keep it on the play. They want a league prediction. I don't usually like to do them after a match has already started. We'll just continue to 4-1 every single league with this deck, though. I'm not saying the deck was playing perfectly, made sense. Still back this shredder since moving. Yeah. It was like, I know, like, obviously, like, we win if they have drown, but a 1-mana removal spell like does like let me lose to some things. So sorry, I need upkeep stop. Okay, well, didn't get our upkeep stop in time. So we'll see if we had a land. Oh, we would have had a land on top. Okay, brutal. This is gonna be okay though. Ballsy keep, yeah, it's close though, where if my DRC lives, I'm like, okay, where I get the surveil for the land the following turn. I have a castable spell in the first 4 turns here. I can also just draw a land. I don't know. I thought it was close for sure. I'm a fan of 2 Pierce, 2 Fluster. Yeah, I think that's fine too. I was kind of thinking of like either playing like 2 Pierce, 2 Fluster, 1 Hearse. But another thing is Hearse is like another sideboard card for living in. It also gives you some equity against Murktide. I mean, there's always just like a million angles to these conversations. Maybe play second DRC Inquisition. This turn's really hard, I think. I really want to surveil into a land for next turn. And then if I could find Delirium too, which I do find, then their Ragavan's pretty irrelevant. I could take a different card. Oh, it's Bombardment. What a hand. So they can't really play the Grist next turn. So I feel like I should be able to take the Bombardment and then drown the Grist next turn. Or the turn after. Definitely a close keep. Probably like an more interesting conversation than the YOLO keep. Sometimes you have to perform a vibe check on the hand. You have to sweep the hand left to right, do a vibe check, and see if it's giving you good enough vibes to keep. They don't teach you that on the Pro Tour. You gotta do a vibe check on the hand, chat. So play this Ragavan to block their Ragavan, attack for 6. They have treasure. Oh yeah, so yeah, when I said that they can't cast Grist, I didn't mean they literally couldn't cast it. I mean that them casting Grist was a bad play for them, because they just lose the Grist to my flying channelers. And that they were gonna set up to minus probably this turn by playing a Seasoned Pyromancer, then play the Grist the next turn. So I probably should have been a bit more clear in my explanation there. So probably what these Hearse is. Dress Down's probably pretty good too. Not sure exactly what version they're on. I usually think Ragavan's pretty good against them on the play. A bit worse on the draw. They also have like Bloodghast and stuff, so maybe I want to go down on Kroxas. Down 1 Ragavan. Any vibe check guides in CFB. I'll have to write one. I'll have to write one. I had one of my best friends had a D&D character named Vibe Check who was his earlier character in the campaign died like a year into the campaign or something, and we'd all been playing our characters for a long time. So Vibe Check was a a changeling bard who was a big fan of the party, and it was like wrote a lot of fan fiction and went into and like used his meta magic to like enact his fan fiction about the party into the campaign. It was awesome. Then he eventually became a god of chaos. I like how Neo and SNC influenced Construct without breaking anything. Yeah, I think Neo and SNC in the frame of Modern were pretty big successes. What do you think of the list playing 3 Shadow? I think the 4th Shadow is cuttable. You'll even see me trim the 4th Shadow in a lot of matchups because Shadow is like not castable till turn 3 unless you have Thoughtseize, fetch land, and drawing 2 Shadows early, or drawing 2 Shadows early is very often like bad. And so, like, cutting the 4th one makes a lot of sense. That being said, the card I would want to cut the 4th Shadow for in this 75 is the first copy of Dress Down, if I was going to cut it. And I don't love that by cutting the 4th Shadow, I make the Dress Down that I'm putting in the deck worse. Because obviously, a big part of the reason why you play Dress Down in these decks is to grow your Shadow. So it's probably fine to do that, and I'm probably overthinking it, but I've lost a lot of sleep recently about this interaction. I think I have to take the Coco. Good start for my opponent here. Yikes. This Ragavan card's alright, huh? This Ragavan card's alright. Exile's Rin and 6, can't cast it though, so only a inspiration. I think I'm just going to get Blood Crypt off Delta, play Shredder. I'm more likely to fetch a Mountain than a Swamp this game because I have 2 black sources here. Is there any situation with vibes go unchecked? It's kind of experimental theory you're talking about there. Pretty dangerous stuff. So then his Mayhem Devil, a couple mystery cards. They're just playing the Mayhem Devil here. So I can't drown the Devil. Sounds like a country song. You can't drown the Devil, but you can bolt it, I guess. Okay, so I'm going to get a basic Mountain, and then in my opponent's upkeep, bolt the Mayhem Devil, I think. No, I can't do that, because then they can attack the Ragavan, putting a damage on the Shredder. But I was wanting to do this so I could connive after I cast my Drown. Faithless Spring talks about Cruel Harpooner as anti-Shredder tech. Seems tight, honestly. I mean, what deck is like going to be able to get 2 creatures in the... Oh, no, yes, Harpooner just fights it on turn 2. Like, what deck wants to play Harpooner, though? And, like... I think cards that are only... I think that's lost in the sauce, right? Because... You have your Harpooner, okay? You have your Harpooner. Which is only good against, like, exactly turn 2 Shredder when you draw Harpooner. But, like, all the Shredder decks have tons of draws where your Harpooner's just going to, like, look really bad. Like, if they're on a Ragavan draw... They're on a Murktide Region draw. I guess it kills. It trades for DRC, but for 2 mana at sorcery speed, which is far from ideal. So if they have a Coco here, they can Coco. And I can't drown, which is pretty good for them. Okay, so now they're gonna minus the Grist, I think. And I'll kill the Mayhem Devil and they're gonna plus, okay. So now they're done with game actions. I'll kill the Mayhem Devil, connive with the Shredder. I think I'm putting the Hearse away. I think I want the Flying Threat. Love to draw, cheap spell. I guess that's cheap spell, huh? I'm actually gonna dash because I can keep conniving if I dash. Kind of weird, right? Josh, thank you for the Twitch Prime. Appreciate you. Confused why we didn't bolt Devil earlier. Okay, so yeah, if I wanted to bolt, I probably should just done that on my turn, but I wanted to bolt on their turn so I could trigger Connive with the Drown. But if I go upkeep, it's their third Coco. If I go upkeep, bolt their Devil, then I have to sack my Mire. So I guess I should have sacked Mire on my turn, pass, bolt in their upkeep, and then no, it's the problem is still there because if they have a fetch land. No, sorry. Yes, the right line was for sure crack Mire my turn, bolt in their upkeep. I didn't do that though. I passed on their upkeep. I had the Mire, and when if I had just cracked the Mire, bolted the Mayhem Devil, then the trigger from the Mayhem Devil that I triggered by sacking the Mire, they can put that 1 damage on the Shredder, and then they can attack with the Ragavan. And I really don't want to trade Shredder for Ragavan in this spot. Kind of convoluted, but that was the reasoning. Okay, we're super behind here though. Oh, Harpooner for Pioneer. Yes. I am definitely more on board as well. This fight rigging I know that Doomwake likes fight rigging a lot, but fight rigging is also the kind of card that like is very swingy, will sometimes like trick you into thinking it's better than it actually is. Can't get through yet. Probably going to get through though. Never seen this type of gem before. Yeah, they're playing. This is an old brew of mine. This was like during like the first trophy race where this brew came out. It looks very, very similar to like the earliest versions of it too. Although now with a proving ground. Anything spicy with Grixis Shadow? Not really. Not really. Just kind of doing some tournament prep with it. Very seriously considering playing this deck. What if you attacked first and Heat Endurance after block? That's probably better. Although the issue, I guess, is that they do get to minus the Grist. And I really would like to have avoided that. Maybe, I'm not sure. It seems very close. So I attack the Grist. They either lose the Grist or the Endurance here. They decide to lose the Grist. And so I'll bubble myself. If I see an instant on top, I will just... Okay, I'll hold that up. How about as a 4-color matchup? I think it's unfavored. I know that Kanister says that he thinks the matchup is pretty even. I don't know if he approaches it different than me, if he's had better variants, or if I've had bad variants. But it's one of those things, I think. Either he's playing the matchup better than I am, he's run better than I have. I guess it's the same thing as me running worse than him. So I'm not sure about that. I'm trying to really evaluate where I think, like, last time we played the deck, we were 8-2. Both of our losses were to 4-color Omnath. I don't think I played those matches particularly bad, but obviously there's maybe some room for improvement. And I did beat the Omnath matchup one time, and it was like a super uphill fight the whole time. So that's something I'm trying to figure out with today's testing. Obviously, we haven't run into 4-color Omnath here. Maybe I just need to like have a friend play test the matchup with me. I can't see any way that Grixis Shadow could be even against 4-color. Yeah. You know, that has been my evaluation, but I will say Kanister's opinion is one I respect a lot, and I'm just trying to figure it out, I guess. My main deck Tourach. I mean, I don't think you should main deck Tourach in Grixis Shadow. Obviously, like, you know, it is like the best card against 4-color Omnath specifically. I think it makes your overall matchup spread like just worse, and I'm not really that into it. Okay, I think I'm gonna pack it in. Yeah, I agree that Grixis versus 4-color is better than Murktide against 4-color. I absolutely agree that. I don't think it's good though. You know what I mean? Like Rakdos, Murktide, Grixis Shadow, Jund to like a lesser extent, all have an unfavorable Omnath matchup in my opinion. Rakdos, I think it's very close because you get to main deck 4 Tourach, or 3 Tourach, sideboard the 4th one. And Voidwalker is also really good against them. Grixis Shadow, I think, is the next best against them, but I don't think is as good as Rakdos. And then I think Murktide and Jund are like terrible against 4-color. Although Jund is like, Murktide's better than Jund. Jund is like abysmally bad against 4-color. So like that would be my ranking of like these like Ragavan. Oh, sorry, I want Ragavan on the play. Okay, too late now. I'll just draw it. Too busy monologuing. Yeah, of all the Ragavan decks, I think Rakdos is the best against the Omnath. But it's maybe the case that Grixis is a better overall matchup spread. I'm not sure. In what matchups would you say Jund is superior to Grixis Shadow? Grixis Shadow and Murktide. I think that Murktide versus Shadow is always super close. Very interesting matchup. Usually like really like skill intensive and fun. But I would say like I've played a ton of both of Murktide and Grixis Shadow, and I like genuinely don't know who I would like even like describe as favored or anything. And I guess I should crack the bubble now because I want to draw the iteration. If I surveil, I want to be able to surveil something else. See, Jund is like better against Murktide. Jund is better against Grixis Shadow. It's better against the other Ragavan decks. Yeah, we've been saying this a lot, but like bad matchups for four color are like the more linear decks. Food is Food, Reclamation, those kind of decks. Food, Reclamation, Tron, Belcher, Burn. Okay, hopefully we find Delirium. No Delirium. We'll keep the land though. Take the 2-for-1 or in their favor. And then maybe it's best to go Shadow with Drown up here. Although I think they're too likely to play non-fetch land in the 3-drop for me to want to do that. I play both Blue-Red and Shadow. I think Shadow is slightly better than Blue-Red against 4-color, but has less even matchup spread than Blue-Red. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's like the correct evaluation. You know, I've been talking about this a lot. I just feel like I keep slamming my head against Modern, and like I'm starting to think like maybe the format is just like balanced enough that it's so hard to get an edge like deck building wise. Obviously, like some decks have like good metagame calls, but there's just like really nothing that just like breaks the format. Doc with 4 months. Appreciate you. How is Yorion Boros Fiddlebender looking in the meta? I thought we had an okay run with the deck when we streamed it. I don't know. The Traverse Delirium version 4-color has felt disgusting every time I play versus it regardless of the deck. Yeah, I think that version looks pretty good to me too. It's like way better at enabling Delirium than I expected it to be. No iteration for the Connive there. Well, if we iteration off Connive, we have to hit Mishra's Bauble for iteration to be a 2-for-1, and we lose our ability to hold up Drown in the Loch, so I think it's just okay to lose the Connive in order to get to Time Walk them with Drown and untap with iteration with full mana. The Traverse Delirium feels worse than the other versions. I'm surprised it's popular. So I wonder if like this comment here, like we got one chatter saying it feels worse, one chatter feels like it seems nuts. Maybe it's one of those like higher power, higher upside, lower floor. Although that can't be the case because Delirium should theoretically enable consistency. Ooh, discard Kroxa. That's nice. I guess I should have probably exiled the Shadow instead of the Mountain. Oh, this is fine. Or am I okay with them double blocking here? I think I have to be fine with that. Is there a chance where you... Oh, they just don't block. They don't block? Yikes. Is there a chance you bring in Hearse in that version 4-color? Yeah, I have been bringing in Hearse against the Delirium version. Although I only recently started to make that change. I like, you can't turn 1 Asmo. You're not going to have turn 1 Asmo that often anyways. Dr. Arson, the 24 months. Appreciate you. Is at least my evaluation. Yeah, them not blocking. Maybe it was even a misclick. I'm not sure. 4-1 last night with new prowess Mage Crypt build. Yeah, that deck was like the funnest I've ever had. When will Magecraft deck be on YouTube? Whenever the editor gets around to it. 4-color tends to be underrepresented paper compared to MTGO. Yeah, a lot of people say that. At least in my experience playing locally, my local like metagame has been hugely represented by 4-color. Like 4-color has been like over, like in some periods even like overrepresented from what it is on Magic Online. Although that wasn't the case at the most recent tournament I played. It has been the case at like every single other tournament I've played locally recently. Which is surprising, right? My local meta is easily 40-50% 4-color. Jeez. Pick up the food deck. I'm 15-0 against 4-color with food. Okay, I was hoping to draw a land. I think I have to Thoughtseize the Thoughtcast here. Just keep them off of anything next turn. Yeah. The Magecraft deck, I'm going to be writing a budget guide. Ooh, great draw for them. I'm going to be writing a budget guide for Channel Fireball with the list, talking about like more just like the same deck with like a budget mana base, and then or trying to get the list under like $200 and then talking about building it more competitively, or the regular version. Okay, we are pretty toast here. I'm gonna pack it in. They're gonna go Saga token, Thought Monitor. So I think I like keeping in Thoughtseizes because you mostly want to Thoughtseize the affinity cards that draw 2. You don't care as much against a lot of the other threats. I think I usually just like Kroxa in this matchup, and then we can either cut 4th Shadow or 4th Ragavan, 1st DRC. They're probably going to bring in Relics, so I think I'll cut the 1st DRC. Can you guys hear Esther talking on the phone? I think she's... I don't know if she's audible or not. She's busy planning our getaway after I perform a crypto scam, so I don't want you guys to hear anything about that. We're going to flee the country after taking all of you suckers for everything you've got. Hey Spike, have you tried the Boros Reckoner combo modern? I'm 32-2 so far by playtesting. That sounds like clickbait. I don't know what Boros Reckoner combo is in modern, but I feel like you want me to ask. But you can't just... If the combo is Star of Extinction or something like that, I don't think I'm that interested. Do you bring in Pierce in the 4-color matchup? And what matchup do you prefer Pierce over Fluster? I do prefer Pierce over Fluster in 4-color. Like countering Renin 6 into Fairy is really nice there, but it's mostly for blue-white. Blue-white against blue-white control, which I believe blue-white control is Grixis' worst matchup. And Spell Pierce counters Rest in Peace to Fairy Time Raveler, Chalice of the Void, which are all of like the hardest cards to beat. And I think that playing the Pierce and the 2 Tourach gives you like a much better time in that matchup than playing no Pierce. Like the difference between playing Pierce over Flusterstorm is like it's like night and day. It's crazy. Okay, I think I have to keep this. Aquaman, thank you for the 22 months. Appreciate you. Not much of a scam if we know about the buy-in. Spike, how do you motivate yourself? I would recommend a car battery and nipple clamps, but if you didn't, if you injure yourself, you didn't hear from me. But that's usually what I do. You'll be shocked with what you can get done with a little car battery and some nipple clamps, I'll tell you what. Why 3 bolts and 0 pushes? I've always really liked bolts a lot more than I think every other Shadow pilot out there. I find myself bolting myself to grow Shadow a lot. I find myself, killing my opponent with bolt a lot. I know that push is better against Shredder. Bolt also usually kills Shredder. I know it's a conversation, but that's usually why. I think I'm going to graveyard this for Delirium and really regret it if they have a Saga on top. But I think the fact that this gives me Delirium is a good enough reason to graveyard. And if they don't play Saga this turn, we're really happy to Moon. Or bid the Moon. Yeah. These money. I have also like more answers to it in the deck with all these dress downs and stuff.
What's up? It's me, your friend, Aspiring.
Yeah, I have been liking these basics a lot. I've been definitely enjoying them. You can regen the treasure, but that doesn't give you another treasure sack of it. Because you sacrifice this. Regenerate doesn't stop sacrifice. Okay. Don't see much reason to not just attack first. So you're gonna let me connect with the Ragavan. I think I'm fetching first, because I'd hate to see a card on top, and then not get to use my mana for, like, Jegantha here. I don't think I like the Shredder that much on this board. It's not terrible. And then I think I care maybe a bit more about what I'm drawing. Heat. Yeah, we can keep the Heat. But I think it's also fine to Jegantha in hand here. I still have instant speed to heat up the treasure if I really, really need it, but I think I'm unlikely to really, really need it. Raven, thank you for the 23 months. Appreciate you. Is Terminate too slow against Affinity? I mean, they just don't like have good targets for it, you know what I mean? Like, your best targets are like Urza Saga token, maybe like the 04 Affinity, but I tend to not like it that much. Any recommendations for representing tap objects in paper with Aether Grid? Oh, good question. I guess I would recommend just having like two, like if you're talking about for tokens, right? Have like just two of each of your tokens, right? And then you can, just like have a dice with number of tokens equal to tapped and untapped, if that makes sense. Just have like one side tapped tokens, one side untapped tokens. The Shadow Spear really puts a damper in my racing plan, so I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna attack with both, and then I think they're going to make an Urza Saga token, which I'm gonna Unholy Heat. The Thought Monitor is definitely scary, though. I'll take another Heat. Could be wrong. This costs 3 mana. Deal. If you regenerate, it doesn't tap that thing. No, but the tap only happens after like whatever you're targeting with the regenerate is destroyed. Oh, this is game 2 on Bingu. How can I attack Titan as Murktide? I believe the matchup is favored. I think that Dress Down, Moon effects, density of counter spells are definitely important. But I do find that you're favored. I think that this is something that happens where you're playing a matchup for the first time. You understand that you're supposed to be favored, and either you are attacking the matchup incorrectly, like you're not, you don't understand exactly what game plans you need to be on, and you don't understand certain matchup dynamics, or you just experience bad variance, and every deck is capable of losing to any deck. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on your end, but it's likely one of those things, and I'm sure you'll be able to figure it out. What are they needling? My welding jar? Engineered explosives. So I can't really use the heat lest I die to their double cranioplating next turn. I think I can attack with the companion and the Ragavan because I can regenerate the companion and I can play a second Ragavan. So I think either way I'm going to be able to connect with one of these two creatures, assuming that they chump block DRC with Thought Monitor. But But if they go like Construct on Companion and Thought Monitor on Ragavan, that's also fine. Yeah, so Welding Jar useful, huh? You love to see it. So we got to trade Ragavan for Thought Monitor, which I think I'm pretty happy with. And then they have it. Their hand is currently, I think, plating mystery card. And if they're going to be going in on the, if they're going to go like play second plating double equipped to Ornithopter, the Heat wins that. I guess I could have killed the Construct, but yeah, I have to not die to the Thopter. Okay. So they're not going for double equip, but they may be able to get to the point where a single equip is lethal. Okay, don't think I need to respond with the Heat because my plan is to kill the Ornithopter. There it is again, plating 3 mystery cards. Don't think they can present lethal here. Have I thought more about Bantarak? I think that I at the time of making this comment, I think it is incorrect to play a Wilderness Reclamation deck without Wrenn 6. Wrenn 6 is the best card, and nothing that white or black offers you is close to like how good Wrenn 6 is in Reclamation. Is it possible that you could play a Reclamation variant that is 4 colors splashing white instead of splashing black for Riveteer's Charm? I think the answer to that question is yes, but I don't know if that's the best variant either. So if I upkeep Heat, I could potentially pay for Metallic Rebuke. But if they have Metallic Rebuke, they're tapping a creature anyways, so I think I'll just Heat now. Ding 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 ding. Best top deck. Kill your Construct, kill you with the Shadow. Do you have most current Wilderness Reckless I consider the best? Maybe. So I've been messing around with like a 4-color splash for Riveteer's Charm. I don't think that version is as good as the Teamer versions, to be honest. Although so like we spent so much time hammering out this Teamer Reckless. I think it's very good. I would no. Fuck. Don't look at those. Where is it? Okay, this list. This is like kind of always the main deck I would start with, viewing potentially Fire Ice as a flex spot if for some reason it's like not very well positioned, but I think that might be the case right now because it just doesn't kill too much, and like specifically Ledger Shredder is kind of tough to answer. Although I do think that I really want to play Run Afoul in the sideboard. I think I might want to main deck some Number of Endurance, but this is kind of always going to be the starting list, and like I really want to play Run Afoul in the sideboard. I'm up to like the full 4 Ren main. Got a 4-color deck that plays Ren and also goes white. Yeah. I think that you can do that too. I think that you can play 4-color Reclamation, which is like this shell splashing for white for better removal, or splashing for black for better removal, and or Riveteer's Charm. What I really like about Riveteer's Charm is it helps you answer Murktide Regions while also being relevant graveyard hate against Living End and a phenomenal draw spell with Wilderness Reclamation. Why no Terminates over maybe Drown? I just think Terminate sucks in the matchup is why. I think that they're really good against 2 mana. I think that Affinity is really good against 2 mana removal, and I historically have not found Terminate to be good in the matchup. The 1 mana removal can sometimes get your creatures through. Obviously, Terminate will have some moments, but you have Dress Down for their bigger constructs too. Post board, 3 of them. Does Spike have Fury Grief deck? I haven't really played much of the like red-white scam scam decks as they're called usually, affectionately called, I might add. I think I'm gonna Bauble myself. Death Shadow. I can't play that on next turn. I think I probably just need to shuffle and find something that will be impactful next turn, because these are all like turn 3 cards. Dress Down can answer the S Champion. My opponent's hand is very light on mana, so I think I'm pretty incentivized to take that Springleaf Drum. Is Drown not doing the same or worse? Well, Drown being able to counter like specifically the draw spells, I think is really nice. Like I think that their graveyard does get full pretty quickly, and stopping them from like chaining a top deck of draw spells is really relevant. When also like Drown usually kills all the same things Terminate does, but has the upside of being a counter spell. You know what I mean? Which is a build do you for the Vessel Delver, Phoenix, or Murktide? In Modern, Murktide is probably the best, although I do think that Phoenix is like really, really good against Murktide, and is maybe good if 4-color Omnath ever gets taken down a peg. Ooh, no lands, huh? I think with double dress down, I want the Shadow, though. Okay, now they can Thought Monitor. Get to draw my land, though. Feels bad to put an iteration away, but I think it's correct. And it's Ets Champion, 2 mystery cards. See if they have any more mana sources. There's a mana source. This dress down's gonna be cracked, I imagine. So we'll see if my top card is so good that I don't want to play my Shadow this turn and get a Connive. I don't really know like what card that would even be. So we'll play the Shadow, get our Connive. Discard the Swamp. Then I have a 3/3 Shadow. Should be able to attack pretty easy. Does Dress Down remove a Regeneration Shield? I don't think so, but that's a good question, actually. Because maybe this Ets Champion is going to be kind of tough to deal with. And it's Ets Champion, 2 mystery cards. I recently added the 4th Ren to Team Erectrief. I think it's like been correct for a long time, and I'm kind of embarrassed it took me this long to add it, to be honest. Okay, discarding I think the Shredder here. Can't you play the Shadow to draw the top card immediately? You fetch post Connive. Yeah, you can, but you just want to Bauble first no matter what, because you have to fetch before. You have to the fetch has to resolve before the Shadow happens. Okay, I can dress down to kill this Thought Monitor, which I think is actually fine, since they're not. I can use the second one to kill this next Saga token maybe, but I think getting to use my mana when my hand is so mana intensive is correct. Okay, so play fetch land, attack. Yeah, probably chump block. They don't chump block. I am gonna dress down and smack them for 16 down to 2. The disrespect. And then with them being at 2, I think it's better to just play a second Shredder, and then I'll potentially have 2 flying lethal attackers next turn. Not making a Saga token. Yeah, I wasn't sure how Wandering Emperor was for like just like having a 4-mana creature doesn't draw a card is tough. I'm also like not that high in Prismatic Ending at the moment. But this seems fine, this seems fine. Just like solidly banned splashing for Ren. Skit, with 6 months, appreciate you. Why do Amulet players only play Amulet? Dude, I feel like Amulet players just abandon the deck immediately as soon as it's poorly positioned. Dragon Shields or Katanas? Neither company pays me, so I have no opinion. And I also have no opinion, really. I don't have a strong preference, to be honest. Running Bristol Pretty Friends? Yeah, I think I'd probably like want to play the 4th Typhoon over it. Yeah, I would love to play Unsleeved. One grabs Aether Spellbomb. Ornithopter. To cast another spell, I get to double Connive. Cranial Plating. Can I just find a bolt, please? I have 3 bolts in the deck, I think. Guess Dashed Ragavan wins if my opponent... maybe we should discard a land. Dashed Ragavan wins if they attack with anything this turn. Or I guess no, because I have to trade with the Shredder, then that's not the case. Yeah, I have to block here. So Dashed Ragavan is not lethal, but we could force a lot of blocks. They don't use a welding jar. Why are they not? They're not using any of their welding jars. All right. Yeah, I actually have to hand the heat, I think, to just heat whatever they equip the cranial plating onto. Force 2 blocks with my attack, I think, is also correct. And then just go Ragavan, Shadow, hold up heat. And I know their last card is Etch Champion, so I don't really need to be like particularly worried about anything really. They don't have the mana to cast the Etch Champion. Richard taps, so Dash Monkey wins. Yeah, okay. I don't know why nobody in the chat knows how regeneration works today. Like, this is like the... I've seen so many comments about, like, the regenerate just tapping the creature. That's not how it works. It taps after damage is dealt. So I can kill this after. I can kill this after, and then it gets tapped to remove from combat. They meant Unholy Heat and Ragavan. Oh, Dash Ragavan and Unholy Heat tap. Sorry. Yeah, I think that was lethal, huh? Yeah. Yeah, I think that was lethal. Chat was right the whole time. That being said, I think we should be good now, because they go equip, tap a creature to jump to bounce something. Yeah, we win. Yeah, you're right, though. I think I had a few lethals. Maybe. But I will say that some other people were saying that about regenerate. Maybe I was misunderstanding what they were saying earlier too, huh? Why are they attaching an instant speed? This does nothing. What? Opponent? What are you doing? I know your last card's Etch Champion. Yeah, you had to at least go for it. You had to go for it. Okay. Okay, they're conceding. Okay, playing against Jegantha. Probably played the Mirror again. Mirror's been pretty popular today. We'll do prediction after next round. So in the Shadow Mirror, I actually fetch tap lands pretty often since I have no shadows in my hand. Life totals usually get pretty low. It's like pretty easy to like fetch shock aggressively like you do in other matchups and just die to a Kroxa. Ooh. Connive, you say? Putting back Drown is kind of tempting, so I can try to Connive. And then I also have Delirium, so yeah, I put back the Drown. Terminate for the Ledger Shredder. I'm gonna put that Kroxa in the yard, I think. I think that's a good place for it. I think that Kroxas are gonna look real good in my graveyard today. Am I from Texas? Yeah, I promise I'm not appropriating the sacred accent. Born and raised, baby. Born and raised. From the shitty state of Texas. Trapped here. Doomed for eternity to have a shitty accent and a shitty government. I think it's better to deny the connive than get 2 connives myself here. I have 2 threats in play. I guess I should correct the Bauble to go if they trigger connive for me. My connives are going to be a lot better. think I should bubbling my turn since they likely double spell in the mirror. It's worse against discard spells, better against they trick connive, kind of same thing. I don't know. I'm not sure. They don't have a third land though, and I do have a Ragavan. I was really hoping to find a fourth land for myself, but Ragavan's going to give me the treasure I need to escape Ragavan. I could bolt for connive. I don't think that that's necessary. Definitely not going to cast Kroxa to put Kroxa in the yard. Should be in pretty good shape here. Usually, when you're playing a mirror match and one player gets mana screwed like this, it's good for the player not being mana screwed. So if I draw a land, I can dash the Ragavan. Didn't draw the land. Escape Kroxa is, usually very good. I'm going to go for the Escape Kroxa here. Instant, Bauble, land. Rice Ball, I think that's 17 months. Appreciate you. Discard's a Death Shadow. It's kind of interesting. Shadow definitely not a bad card on this board. I wonder how Rag would compare if it had Escape for 2 mana and 3 cards and a dash. It would be way better, I think. I mean, Escape. We've kind of talked Escape to death lately, but I really dislike how the Escape mechanic is designed, where you can repeatedly escape the same card over and over again. I kind of feel like the Escape mechanic would have been better if you could escape it one time and then it was done. So not much point to Thoughtseize because they're just going to cast a Heat here, but the bolt should kill them. Or they're going to cast a Heat or die. You know what I mean? Like, the fact that you get to escape the same Uro 4 times in the game was a big part of why I thought the gameplay with that card was so bad. But if it was just one escape, I think the mechanic would have been way more reasonable. And I think the reason they didn't do it, because that makes the mechanic way too close to Eternalize, which is already a mechanic, but I don't think that's the best excuse. But that's probably why. Okay, and on the draw, I want the 6 removal spell. On the play, I want the 4th shadow. I think it's my current plan. Unearth? Okay, Unearth. Sure. Although Eternalize was a recent Embalm. Wait, is Eternalize different from Embalm? They probably did it with memory issues of exile this card if it goes to the yard again. Yeah, probably. Although Unearth has that, although Unearth exiles end of turn. So it's less hard to remember. At least gameplay-wise, like the fact that as soon as one Uro was cast, the rest of the match was about that same Uro was always really miserable. Going to Syracuse or too far? It's way too far. I don't know. Like I've never like the SCG tournaments are fun or whatever, but I've always felt like the EV of traveling across the country to them is really bad. And me and Esther bought a house this year, so we can't just go every weekend someplace. Really hard to mulligan this matchup. Also hard to keep a hand on the draw without a 1 mana spell, but I think I have to keep, and I've got some looks at a 1 mana spell too. Yeah, that's true. Escape is like, for the instants and sorceries, is like so similar to Flashback. But it's on a mold to 5 on the play. Yo, I love Soul Diviner. That card's awesome. Okay, and they don't have a Ragavan or a Dragon Rage's Channeler, which I think puts me in phenomenal shape since I'm on the draw. I'm up 3 cards at the moment. Don't think I want a Scalding Tarn though. I'm just gonna get a Watery Grave tapped. I think they just missed a bouncing Uro. Sure. I think that's a fine take too. I think that like the escape mechanic could have been different, or Uro could have been ooh. It's pretty good. The escape mechanic could have been different, or Uro could have been a 4/4, 3/3, or Uro could have been, not gain the life or not put the land into play, or not draw the card. I'm gonna hope that they miss with the Hearse. I mean, the drown's not getting any better, I think. Maybe that's not true. Maybe if they just go land 1 drop, I get to drown something. Yeah, maybe this is bad. Yeah, this is dumb. Conditional draw based on land entering. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, there's a lot of cards. We don't need to dive all deep into this again, but there's a ton of cards from that era that it's just kind of staggering that they got released as is, you know. Okay, so I think I need to use my Drown this turn because they have the Hearse. Get rid of the bolts. Like, I think starting from War of the Spark and ending with, like, maybe Call Time, maybe not Call Time. Well, a long time of how did this card get printed as is. That being said, I think things did eventually even out, and I think things are pretty good right now. They've been good for a while. Those damn Modern Horizon cards. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you're doing the classic meme where we always like blame Modern Horizons for every card from that era, when it's like, it's like I hate how Modern Horizons 2 ruined Modern Horizons with their dude. I keep bricking on my iterations. I'll give another one though. I guess it's not quite the brick. Modern Horizons 2 with the Mystic Sanctuary and the Uro and the Teferi Time Raveler and the Fields of the Dead and the Veil of Summer and the Oko Thief of Crowns and the Once Upon a Time and the Karn the Great Creator getting the 6-drop. I can't believe Modern Horizons 2 did this to my format, or Modern Horizons 1 and the Valky and the Companions, but like all those things happened at like the same time, you know. Or like in the same era, like back to back and back, and there was like a general like feeling for one reason or another that it was like Modern Horizons 2 that was to blame. But you know, it was kind of like it was in my opinion it was like way more due to the standard sets. Well, opponent's playing pretty well, crawling back from their multi-5. I'm not playing that well. That Hearse is so big too. It's gonna be 8 power cracking in. I think I have to get a little lucky and find a land for Shredder and to Terminate here. Discarding this feels terrible, but I think I have to do this. Yeah. It's not like Modern Horizons 1 was like had no mistakes and had Hogak and Astrolabe, and like Hogak was definitely like was how did that card ever get printed as is? That makes no sense. Astrolabe, I think Astrolabe is like a poorly designed card, but one that I can like at least forgive because I think that's like a really easy one to misevaluate and mess up on, to be honest. The biggest script of MH2 is basically that it rotated the format. Yeah, this is a super common take that MH2 rotated the format. You're not wrong, but it's also like I think that this is a take you see all the time on Reddit and stuff, that Modern is now a rotating format thanks to the Horizon sets, and yes, it is, and it's going to continue being like this too. I don't think it's changing. And I don't know. I know that a lot of people don't like it. It's also going to be like this. Okay, I can go block DRC, take 4 from Ragavan's Shadow. Oh, they didn't crew Hearse with the Kroxa, so that was a big mistake from them. But yes, like Modern sets, Modern does rotate now. Modern has been rotating. Like, ever since they banned Splinter Twin and Pod, Modern has been a rotating format where it changes constantly. And it's okay to not like that, but to say that like this is not what Modern is. Modern is a format that changes a lot and rotates. It just is. It's okay to not like it, but To pretend like it's not, it hasn't been like that for years and it's not going to continue being like that is just, you know, a stale take at this point, in my opinion. Pretty sick draws. So yeah, so they have Ragavan in their hand at the moment. How big is the hearse? It's going to be a 10-10. Yeah, so if they go Scrape, Kroxa, Crew, Hearse, and I make this attack... Yeah, I think I actually need to leave this back so I can... try to terminate their only blocker and win. Destructotron, thank you for the 5-pack. 300 gifted subs in the chat from Destructotron. Thank you so much, buddy. Oh, dude, I totally meant when I was putting up the thing to do the sticky note. Do I have one up here? Okay, I'll make a sticky note on my computer and put it up tonight. I unboxed the thing on stream earlier. I got a gifted chef from Destructor, make sure to thank them. Thank him. Wait, is Destructor not a VIP? Okay, we can VIP Destructor. Okay, Kroxa escape. I guess I shouldn't have to terminate now, right? I don't have to forget about the stupid Destructor or Kroxa trigger. So I go to 1, kill Kroxa. They can crew the hearse, but I can block with the shredder, and they're dead to a removal spell. And then my shadow also becomes... Oh, my shadow becomes an 11-11. And the hearse is a 10-10. Right. So I can even block the hearse with the shadow. Steven, the 14 months. Appreciate ya. Oh, 12-12. So they have to block the shadow. Okay. Grows the shredder. Do we know about the Ragavan? I can't even remember. But they can crew hearse block and kill shadow, I guess. Is that fine? Is that an okay exchange for us? I don't think so. Just gonna pass. Only getting bigger? Yeah. That's, I think, a good argument. The problem is they have a really hard time attacking with it, though, because it removes 2 of their attackers, and I have plenty of blockers for it. And then also, like, if the hearse goes to the yard here, then that's 1 more card for their Kroxa, which I kind of want to avoid that as long as I can. Never considered any number of Cling to Dust in deck. I would never play the first Cling over the 3rd Kroxa, and I'm not that close to playing the 3rd Kroxa anyways. Alright, Bloodstained Mire, Jegantha. Can I draw an Expressive Iteration? Probably not. I've already used 3, I think. Kind of greedy to ask for. I think I am going to send in with my 3/5 Shredder and play my free 5/5. So they're currently 3 cards away from escaping the Kroxa. Hopefully can play around it. Their hand is Jegantha mystery card. I quietly... I kind of quietly think they should ban Jegantha the more I think about it. I just been playing a lot of like Pioneer and Modern decks recently that incidentally get to play the free 5/5. Oh, this is lethal. Wow. Good play, good play. They're gonna skip the Kroxa, so just go to game 3. It's just like, I don't know, maybe not that quiet. It's just like I play so many decks that get this free 5/5 with no cost. It doesn't cost me anything to play it. You just get the free 5/5, and you just win a lot of games because you have a free 5/5. We lost to Tron earlier because they had the free 5/5. It's just so dumb. And like no deck is going out of its way, with some very rare exceptions, in Pioneer and Modern. Oh, and Pioneer, don't get me started. Get me started. Jegantha is like unkillable in Pioneer. It dodges almost every single removal spell too. It's just like no deck building decisions happen with Jegantha. It just wins every top game mode. It's just so dumb. Oh, the DRC was mine! Oh no! Oh no! I mean, they didn't realize it either. Well, I guess that's why you never concede, huh, chat? Yeah, the DRC was mine. So they didn't have enough cards in the yard. Oh, so frustrating. We would have won. There's no way they knew, right? Right? They wouldn't do that to me. I think I need to play the Shredder here. I'm getting a little flooded. I'm on the mulligan on the play. Yeah, just making sure we 4-1 every league. I didn't happen to catch any of Hobbs' stream last night, unfortunately. I've been hoping to see the run get finished, though. Jegantha and Kier are both worse design than Yorion. I agree completely. I agree completely with that. Although Yorion's maybe like poorly designed for like paper modern specifically. Just Jegantha and Kihira just have no deck building restriction in too many decks. Yeah, we've been talking about this a lot. It's like Luris has too small restriction and does too much. Yorion probably has too much card advantage when you cast it. Kihira and Jegantha have too low deck building restriction. Obosh is perfect. You stay the same, Obosh. And then Umori, Zerda, Gyruda, Kihira, not Kihira. Lutri are all, I think are all like, you know, pretty well rounded. I think I discard the Channeler and try to get Delirium for the Shredder by going like Hearse, Connive, Heat, Connive. Ooh, they have a Kroxa though. I will say like all those opinions are in the context of Standard, where like I think Karuga was like probably kind of messed up in Standard in the Fires deck too. And also, no Companion should have been hybrid mana. No Companion should have had the original Companion rule, obviously. Okay, please don't have a discard spell for my Hearse, by the way. Because we have, you know, Shadow. No, that can't be Shadow. Push. Oh, we lose if we don't get to Hearse this game. We just lose. Maybe we're not going to win anyways, but we are not going to win if we don't get to resolve this Hearse here. We do also kind of need to find Delirium. That's an artifact. So I have two looks to get Delirium here with my Unholy Heat. One from my Connive and one from my Surveil. And I think that, you know, I'm on a mulligan on the play. I kind of think I just need to hit it. I think I just need to hit it. Has to be any instant or sorcery. We Bricadelphia'd. And now we have to now we have to attack. I guess they don't really have a good block though. Okay, and I guess I also have to main phase the Hearse, otherwise they can have untapped land that's not a fetch land. They're going to be able to hit me for a lot here. I could maybe have discarded the Bauble to try to have a better block with the Shredder. That might have been better too. What's one card deeper? Okay, so if they cast another spell pre-combat, we maybe get to block this Shredder. Oh, we do get to block the Shredder because our top cards drown. Maybe correcting the Bauble's better for the Connive, but worse against discard. No, the instant wasn't one card away. The instant was the Unholy Heat that was on the stack. Although next turn I can, like, shrink the DRC and eat it in combat and drown the Shredder, so we're not doing so bad necessarily. Discard in the post board. I don't know that everybody, like, cuts all the discard spells. I know I do. But, they also... I don't know, maybe am I supposed to infer that everyone cuts all the discard spells post board? Because if so, then I should have cracked the Bauble already. So my opponent is going to draw Heat. I'm going to upkeep Drown, I think. I would assume my opponent's playing perfectly, reduce as many discard spells as possible post-board games. Yeah. I think you may be right. That's the correct way to approach the thinking. Okay, so if they just go main phase Heat, I exile the push Bauble, they lose Delirium. They have 6 cards in their hand. What the hell? They have 6 cards in their hand? They're drawing Heat. No, they shuffle the Heat away. They shuffle the Heat away. Shocking. So if they have an instant here, I can't cape them off Delirium. So I'm dead to kill Shredder and then dash Ragavan or bolt me. Opponents played this match well, better than I have, to be honest. Dash Rag isn't lethal. It is lethal because I can't get them off Delirium. Oh, I'm at 6, not 5. I'm at 6, not 5. Okay. Text with Twitch Prime, appreciate you. I don't know why I thought I was at 5. Still very unlikely to beat the 4-card hand with the Connive and the Surveil and the Bauble. You have lethal the vehicle? I mean, I can attack for 4 and they're at 4, but they're really lucky to just kill my Channeler. I can't keep them off Delirium anymore, or for sure now. Okay, Hearse. So many cards. Maybe I should have played my Mountain, but I need my opponent to be on literally nothing. And if they have literally nothing, if they're in just 4 lands, we win. But at the time of making this comment, that is the only avenue to victory that I see. Would Kroxa be too good if it always dealt 3? It'd be really, it'd probably be too good. Yeah, maybe they'll fetch, huh? I don't know why they're tanking so long. I've got no cards in my hand. Literally anything kills me. Any removal spell, any counter spell. So if they have anything, I'd lose. Okay, they got it. Okay, I think I punted this match a few times. These mirrors are always tough to play, but I could have played better. Let's do a 4-1 prediction. You get to play Riveteer's Charm, Goy, Renin 6, and Jund. I think that Grixis is better, but it's a conversation. Oh no, I'm blurry. Would Burn be Rakdos if it did that? I don't know. Maybe. I think it would be too good if it dealt 3. Always. I should have used a different fetch land. You should always hold the Mire. It doesn't matter that much, though. We go this list first canisters. Every Shadow Pilot is the biggest Devo you've ever bet in your entire life, and they think their list is the best, and I'm no different. But also my list is like, it's very similar to canisters, right? Like the differences I think are just in the 1-mana removal. I can't remember exactly what the changes were. Dude, Shredder's so good. A lot of lands off the top, huh? I'm going to cast my second Ragavan, I guess. I'm gonna work on the mono black sub this week. I'll let you know later. I guess I want to look at Kanister's list again. I really think it's almost like the exact same list though. The changes are just so minute. I guess I'm heating in a turn to try to deny the connive. Heating the Ragavan, unfortunately. Yeah, Kanister's playing 1 extra land. I really like 18 lands instead of 19. Kanister's playing 3 shadow. That's right. I've got 3 shadows in favor of 2 Terminates main. I think that's fine. I think the Terminates in the sideboard are fine too. Kanister is playing a 2-1 split of Flusterstorm, Spell Pierce. Also has a Dispute. Dispute helps 4 colors. Sideboards are slightly different. It's just like such small changes. I like the deck building decisions I've made. I think Kanisters are fine too. I think that there's like this maybe is not even up to date because I think Murktide is like, you know, kind of feels like, oh, dude, literally only drawing lands this game. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm the only one that should play 18. You guys can all play 19, huh? Well, I play 18. The K commands on the side have been a lifesaver. I don't really get them. Like, there's not much Chalice in the Void at the moment. It's like, I guess, good against unlicensed her specifically. Is that the whole point? There is a cyber guide for Esper Fruit on CP Pro. Just a new updated guide this week. Yeah. Let's go to game 2. Cutting Force Shadow for 1 main deck Terminate is kind of interesting if you feel like Murktide's like super popular, super bad. I think that's fine. So I've also been kind of thinking I want to sideboard this, or... So historically, I've liked to keep in a lot of Thoughtseizes in the matchup, and I'm starting to think that maybe I just want to be sideboarding the same way I do in the Grixis Shadow matchup, just off the discard spells completely, and then on the play, cutting 5th 1-mana removal spell, and on the draw, cutting the 4th Shadow. Oh, sorry. Whoops. I'm going to try this. This is kind of what I was thinking this morning I wanted to be doing, but still not 100% sure. Was Chalice ever actually bad? I'm not sure. I think it's probably in a good position at the moment. Or good enough, right? How do you decide which decks to include for Cyber Guides? For instance, no Yogg against Esper Food, or do I always use the decks? I usually just do the same decks. I don't know. Maybe I should be putting Yogg in the Cyborg Guides, but Yogg is still, like, I think obscure enough that I don't include it. Maybe it's not anymore. I'm not sure. It's becoming more popular lately, but, you know, the reality is, like, you know, Channel Fireball doesn't pay me enough to do a Cyborg Guide for every deck in Modern. There's too many decks in Modern. It's not realistic to expect me to do all of them, so some of them just have to get cut. No, I'm not going to Energy Chicago, I don't think. It's kind of weird to Spell Pierce this, but I think I just kind of want to trade 1 for 1 here when I have double Iteration in my hand. Does that make sense? I think the same idea holds true here. Yeah, I think I should be including Yogg on the Cyborg Guides. I think very recently it's like kind of, you know, it's become, I think, there's a ton of it at the DreamHack. I'll think I'll start putting it in the Modern Guides then. But you just gotta understand, I can't do all of them. There's just too many decks. Like, I think I do like Cyborg Guides for like, in between 12 and 15. I can't remember how many. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11. Yeah, maybe we could do 12. Adding Yawgmoth. Maybe we shouldn't fetch that because I might want to shock. Do not spell pierce me. Actually, I think I might play my land and just try to get double spell here. This could be too greedy. If they have another dispute, it's a mute point. Well, using my spell pierces super aggressively worked out pretty poorly this game. Maybe that's not a good maybe that's not a good plan. But I thought it made sense with double iteration in my hand to just take the 1-for-1s, but my opponent was able to curve out anyways despite getting their double cantrip denied. I do get a free 5/5 though. Yeah, time for Jegantha to hard carry. They've got 3 cards in their hand. Feeling okay with the double Terminate in my hands. They don't heat my Jegantha. Let's go. What's in their hand if they're not heating that? Maybe they're holding the heat because it's better to double bolt. Oh my gosh, you guys! What I'm saying, Jegantha is so stupid. It is not fair that I get a free 5/5 with no deck building decisions at all, and my opponent just has to double bolt it because they can't beat it. It's not. It is Jegantha is the dumbest card in Modern. Can't tell troll. I'm so serious. I'm so serious about it. Like it's like listen, it is just a 8-mana 5/5. I know, but it also just does too much for too little investment. Like, you know what I mean? This happens. I play a lot of Jegantha decks. A lot of the brews end up being Jegantha decks with no deck building decision besides a 15 sideboard slot, and this happens all the time. That you just like get a 0-mana 2 for 0 for 2 or 2 for 1, whatever you want to call it, because you just happen to get the 3/5/5. Jegantha is quietly one of the dumbest cards in the whole format. Yeah, Yorion is not free. Jegantha is just literally free, and it's just not like reasonable at all. In Pioneer, it's even worse too, because in Pioneer, Jegantha is literally it's just unkillable. It dodges like Impulse, Strangle, Fatal Push. It just dodges everything. Okay, really don't want to terminate this. I want to save the terminates for the bigger creatures. But getting to trigger Surveil is pretty nice. I've been holding these terminates for a long time. The dash Ragavan's pretty nice. Feels kind of late for the hearse. Could be fine to keep it, but I'm going to graveyard it here. The format of Omnath and Cascade, Jegantha is dumb, but far from the worst part of playing the format. Sure. I don't know. Everybody's got their own like pet peeves here. Like, I don't think Jegantha is not the worst part of Modern. That's not my argument. Jegantha is the dumbest card in Modern. You know what I mean? It is just the most ridiculous part of the format, in my opinion. It's just dumb that some like a big chunk of decks just get a free 5/5 and some decks don't. You know what I mean? That's it's just silly. Isn't it just Shadowtron? No, I mean maybe this is your first time to twitch.tv/aspiringspike, but I do a ton of brewing. A huge chunk of my brews just instantly get Jegantha. Hold on, let me pull up the Stream Decker. Jund Saga, Jegantha deck. Boros Lumimancer, Jegantha deck. The Delver and Pioneers, Jegantha deck. I thought there was one more recent one. The food deck is a Jegantha deck too. It's a lot of the brews. Obviously not all of them, but like enough that it's just like so silly, and you win so many so many games with the free 5/5. Oh, thank goodness didn't find a removal spell. I feel like we don't like the game anymore. I like the game. I like the game. I know I'm complaining. That doesn't mean I don't like it. I'm, you know. I don't know. I feel like we don't need this game anymore. I took a 6-month break because streamers, kept campaigning to get things banned successfully. I don't know what this comment is. Streamers got decks banned. What did streamers get banned in Modern in the last 6 months? Literally the only card banned in the last 6 months is Lurrus. Right? What is this comment? I don't understand. Lurrus needed to go. Lurrus absolutely needed to go, by the way. Suno with the 17 months, thank you. Yeah, average Lurrus fan, huh? Maybe I should have not attacked. Okay, resolves. What streamers complained about what card and got what card banned? You know what I mean? I don't know. I can tell a Redditor when I see one, huh? People coming with the same stale takes from Reddit over and over again. My opponent did not dash that Ragavan. What in the world? Goes for the 10 months, thank you. Yeah, it always comes back to the Reddit hate. I just can't. I just, you know, they just the same takes over and over and over again from that stupid website. Oh, maybe I could have double bolted them though. I don't know. If they don't have anything, then I want to have the double drown up here. And if they do have stuff, then double bolt isn't beating them if they have counter magic. But people just these takes too. They just say things. They just say things that sound true, right? Streamers complaining about cards. I took a 6-month break because things were getting banned in Modern. The only card banned in the last 6 months was Lurrus, which needed to go. You know what I mean? Lurrus needed to be banned for a long time before. But people, I don't know. Just a lot of these takes just kind of sound true. With but if you put like any amount of like thinking towards them, they just don't make any sense. Oh, but accurate. Twitter's way worse than Reddit. Yeah, it's about the same. It's about the same. I don't know. I feel like on Twitter, at least, like people have, they say different things sometimes, even if they're wrong too. I don't care if you're wrong, if you're right either, though. But just for me personally, I just see the same things in the chat over and over and over again, all day, every day, and I just makes me go crazy, which is why I have such a visceral reaction to this kind of stuff. Yeah, that no dash was probably just a misclick, right? Why not Thoughtseize here? So this is kind of a new sideboard plan. I used to play like the full 4 Thoughtseize because getting Murktide is really important. I think that the implementation of Hearse makes their Murktides worse, and I think that I genuinely really like Spell Pierce in the matchup too. So I'm open to playing Thoughtseize. I think that Thoughtseize is worse than every other card here. You've got Terminates and Hearse for Murktide. You can sometimes kill Murktide with Drown. You want to have a quality of top decks. You want to impact the board with all your spells. You want to have as many threats as possible, I think. So this has been my sideboard plan. You could maybe play Thoughtseize over Shredder. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, I love looking at daily ban all companions. Yes, I'm not joking when I say put Mori on the modern ban list every day, all day. It's fine to be in the camp. I'm just, you know, I have to hear it every day. On the play, I find hand attack better than pierces, but both are medium top decks. Yeah, I think that's a good point to make. I had to mulligan that hand. This one, I think I just put back second Shredder. I don't know. We can move on. I'm sorry for getting so stun locked. 8 mana 5/5 powerful. It is though. We genuinely won that game because of the 8 mana 5/5, and it's so dumb that we did, right? Well, I think with the 3 months, appreciate you. I got stun locked again. But like we won that game. We would have lost for sure if we didn't just randomly get Jegantha. You know what I mean? We can't move on. We're never moving on. Never moving on from anything ever in this channel. Should know better by now than try to move on from something. Oh, sorry, I should have corrected the Bauble on my... No, I wanted to do this for information. I should have corrected my instep after they fetch, but... Yeah. Yeah, listen, I'm not saying the words ban Jegantha, but I am saying Jegantha is really dumb. And it's just a really dumb, poorly designed card. Like a lot of things in Modern, but I just oh, they exiled Lightning Bolt, but if they bolt my Shredder, I just get to discard any spell and keep it alive. So what spell am I discarding? Probably it just has to be Heat. The updated Banned Stoneblade list. As much as I love Banned Stoneblade, it's, you know, definitely a big pet deck of mine. But unfortunately, I'm kind of the opinion that there's not much reason to play Banned Stoneblade over like the Boros list, because I think the Fervent Champion builds are just like the best mid-range Stoneblade decks pretty easily. Okay. Not going to jam the iteration here, just going to pass. How much should Jegantha cost to be fair? Is it an extra card that's unfair broken? It's just like this part. No card in your starting deck has more than 1 mana symbol of its mana cost. That just has no text, you know? This is just like in too many decks this has no text. I don't know what it should have been, but it's just not a real restriction in too wide a range of decks. And I think that's what I dislike about it. That's my critique. But also, no companion should have been hybrid mana, and no companion should have had the original rule, of course. Is their mana cost for Jegantha's reasonable? It's reasonable at its current mana cost, but it's dumb at any mana cost. You know what I mean? You know, Dark Confidant is greatness at any cost. Jegantha is dumb at any mana cost. Wait, they're not going to cast another Consider. We're just getting another tap land, right? Do a reverse Lurrus Companion, only 3 CMC above. That's Karuga. Karuga is that card. But Karuga is like, for some reason Karuga is somewhat balanced because Karuga only checks I think I'm supposed to terminate here. They're at 9 life. I need to save the bolts, I think. Karuga checks all spells. Lurrus only checks permanents for no reason. So Jegantha should cost 3 red green. Yeah. Yeah, no companion should have had the hybrid mana. The companions need to be way more restrictive than they were. But maybe the ban companion chatters are right, because then if we ban companion, we just never have to have this conversation again. Or maybe we do, huh? Oh wait, I've only cast 1 spell, right? I've only cast 1 spell, so if I bolt their Shredder, they just connive. So I need to I need to instead untap dash Ragavan. They have to let the Ragavan hit them or they're dead. Then the combo becomes a ban companion. It's not really. Like, the unbanned banned cards can't be is usually, like, very fringe. There'll always be some, you know. Okay, this was a weird match. We literally 4-1 every single league with Shadow. This is 4 4-1s in a row, which is, you know, phenomenal win rate, whatever. We also kind of punted our mirror match there too, but definitely need to be seriously considering this deck for the qualifier this weekend. I think I'm gonna end the stream early here. I know I ended kind of early yesterday, but my brain.